Welcome, bowling fans, to the second annual CCFA PBA Challenge with PBA champion Rhino Page. Brought to you by Bowl Freak. Sign up for free at bowlfreak.com and compete against other players from around the world in various tournaments and leagues to fit your skill level. Bowl Freak, it's your game. I'm Michael Powell, and I'll be with you here laneside for today's exciting championship.
I thought there was a way that you can change the plus and minus up there, but I don't remember how to do it.
All right, we are live here at the final step ladder for the CCFA Challenge, PBA Challenge with Rhino Page, and we're actually got a different format that we're going to try to follow here, folks. It's actually an Olympic format that hopefully we're going to be seeing in Tokyo in 2020 if bowling becomes the Olympic sport that certainly we here hope it becomes. And this system uses points to determine whether or not you have overtaken another opponent or lost to them. So I'm going to be learning along with you, and we'll try to explain it and keep it clear for you. In this format, players go head-to-head each frame. If a player outscores their opponent, they win the frame and then go one up. Matches tied after 12 frames continue until there is a winner, and the game ends if one player gains more points than the other can possibly achieve.
PBA titles, Mr. Stony Baker. Our number 3 bowler has 135 sanctioned 300 games, 104 sanctioned 800 series. He was the Greater Atlanta Bowler of the Year in 2010-11, 2011-12, and 24-14-15, Mr. Greg Black Jr. Our number 2 seed, one national PBA title, 7 regional PBA titles, 2003 Team Masters champion, rookie and player of the year, the PBA Southern Region, Mr. Jason Starner. And our number 1 seed, 3-time national title winner, former rookie of the year, first to bowl a 300 on TV in Japan, former Team USA, member with 24 medals, Mr. Rhino Page. Y'all both good. First match, director on lane 7, you're going first.
So to quickly recap, our number 4 seed is Stony Baker, our number 3 seed is Greg Black Jr., our number 2 seed is Jason Sterner, and our number 1 seed, Rhino Page. So Greg Black Jr. has opted to start on the left side. He's lined up for his first shot. Puts this one down through the middle, through the nose, and only gets 8. Remember, with this format, Stony Baker just needs to get a 9 or more to win this frame. Stony puts this one down through the middle. He puts it through the nose and leaves exactly the same 2 pins. So now, each bowler is going to attempt to pick up the spare. And each has to match the other in order to not lose a point. As Black sends this one across, picks up both, and throws the gauntlet down for Stony Baker. He puts this one into the corner and picks his 2 up as well, leaving the score tied at 0-0. So still 0-0.
He's taking them out. Remember, we don't have Olympic scoring. He takes the frame 2s are out.
Stoney Baker manages to wash out on that shot. And these lanes have been freshly oiled. We're on the USBC Open pattern, which most of the players have been enjoying so far the last couple of days. And Black manages to send 10 to the pit, giving him that frame.
1 point Black.
Black gets set up on the left side. Puts this one down across the middle. This one gets all the pocket, and he's got 2 in a row. Stoney Baker puts that one through the nose.
0 on A, 1 on B.
Giving the point to Greg Black Jr.
2-0.
Stoney Baker is one of 3 PBA members who made it to our stepladder finals today, and you may recognize him from our tournament from a couple of months back where he competed in the finals of the New Mexico tournament here on the Bull Freak channel. Baker gets lined up on the left to begin his 4th frame. Puts this one down about the 23. Goes light in the pocket.
9 count.
And Stoney Baker gets 9 on that shot. And another great shot from Greg Black as he ups his lead to 3-0.
1 on the right. 3-0 Black. Junior.
Greg Black Jr. is a 3-time Greater Atlanta Area Player of the Year recipient and a well-liked guy around these parts. Black gets lined up on the left side to start his 5th frame. Puts this one down across the middle. Gets right into the pocket, but he only gets 9. Well, like it, love it, or hate it, the Olympic format is easier to announce, I've got to admit. Don't have to quite think so much about the pens. And don't get me wrong, I like talking about pens. Yeah, Stoney Baker gets set up for his 5th try. And he gets all of that one and puts 10 right where they belong, giving Stoney Baker his first point of today's stepladder finals.
That's 3-1.
In this format, there's a grand total of 12 balls that each player gets to throw. As Baker gets 9 of these.
9 count.
And the games can actually end early if one player gets too far ahead of the other player. Black sets up for his 6th frame. And shreds the rack.
1 more point on the B lane.
Some good looking shots here by Greg Black Jr. He looked good all day yesterday and today, which is why he's in 3rd seed and leading this match 4 points to 1. We had a chance to talk to Greg Black Jr. earlier today, and this is what he had to tell us.
Greg, are you from around here?
Yes.
Where do you bowl out of?
I'm on the south side, Union City, Forest Park, Stockbridge. that area.
Oh, sounds great. So when did you get started bowling?
I actually started bowling 30 years ago when I was 4.
Good.
30 years ago.
Well, you know, I was talking with Rhino Page yesterday, and he got started at the same age too, at 4 years old. You guys beat me by 4 years. I thought I was early at 8.
Yeah, actually, me and Jason Sterner, we started around the same time. I remember we was little running around in the bowling alley when our father was bowling together.
Black gets set up for his 7th frame. Sends this one right into the pocket, but only gets 8. Greg was kind enough to chat with us a little bit further, and if you'd like to watch the whole interview, check it out at youtube.com/bowlfreak. Scoring's off just a little bit. Stony Baker 4 and Greg Black.
Oh, that's right, spare. That's set back. That's not right.
What was it?
You might not have to.
You might not have
to.
Yeah, I might have to put it back up.
Stony Baker gets set up to start his 7th frame. Puts this one down into the pocket and clears the deck.
1 point
Making
on
the
B.
score now 4 points to 2.
Hey, should be 4 to 2. It should be 4 to 2.
That was probably Stony Baker's best shot so far we've seen in this game. Which suggests he's getting comfortable on this pair, but will it be soon enough? As Baker gets set up on the left side. Pushes out with this one and only gets 6 pins. Black gets set up on the right lane to start his 8th frame. Puts this one into the pocket, gets 9 pins, and wins the frame. Increasing his lead to 5 points to 2. Black gets lined up. Puts this one down just left of the middle. Black sends this one down in the pocket. Another light in the pocket shot. A little bit of a tumble. But gets 9, and the way this format works, that's a win on this frame. So Greg Black Jr. only needs to win this frame to win the match. As Baker sends off his first shot of the 9th frame. Doesn't look like he likes this one. He gets 8 pins, and that makes Greg Black Jr. the winner of our first match with a score of 6 to 2. And we'll face our 2nd seed, PBA champ Jason Sterner, next.
All right, let's give it up for our 4th round player, Mr. Stony Baker.
And you are watching the 2nd annual CCFA PBA Challenge with Rhino Page. Today's presentation is brought to you by BowlFreak. Sign up for free at bowlfreak.com and compete against other players from around the world in various tournaments and leagues to fit your skill level. BowlFreak, it's your game. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America, providing hope and inspiring action. Visit ccfa.org to see how you can help today. Storm, the Bowlers Company. And Printer Showcase, where the business professionals shop. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the 2nd annual CCFA PBA Challenge with Rhino Page. And as our second seed, Jason Sterner, gets ready to take on Greg Black Jr. in our second match, we'll cover the rules again for Olympic format scoring in bowling. Remember, players go head-to-head each frame. If a player outscores their opponent, they win the frame and go one up. Match is tied after 12 frames continue until there is a winner. And the game ends if one player gains more points than the other can possibly achieve. And so Jason Sterner has opted to let Greg Black Jr. begin first on the left lane. He gets lined up to send down his first shot, puts it down across the middle, and only gets 7 pins. And of course, Jason Sterner only needs 8 pins or more to win the frame. As he gets on the approach to get set up for his first ball of this second match. Sterner chooses a lot more aggressive line into the pocket, gets a strike, and puts 1 point up on the board. Jason Sterner, of course, as most of you will recognize, is from our current PBA tour. And we're certainly happy to have him here today at our Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America PBA Challenge. And it's for a great cause. As Sterner gets lined up on the left side to start his second frame. He puts this one a little bit light in the pocket and only gets 6 pins. So Black only needs to get 7 pins to win the frame. As he sends his first ball down, gets all 10, and ties the game up. Greg, who's 34 years old, has quite a remarkable bowling career behind him so far. 135 sanctioned 300 games and 104 sanctioned 800 series. He was the Greater Atlanta Bowler of the Year in 2010, 2011, 2011, 2012, and 2004, 2015. As he gets another strike, throwing the gauntlet down to Jason Sterner. Jason Sterner, as many of you know, hails from this area and currently makes his home in Covington, Georgia. He's probably best known for his 2012-2013 appearance versus Wes Malott in the Don Carter Classic, where he bowled a near-perfect game to win that tournament. As he matches Black with a strike and keeps the score even. We had a chance to chat with Jason earlier today, and this is what he had to talk about.
What brings you to our neck of the woods, besides the fact I know you're from here?
Yeah, actually Rhino got in touch with me about a month ago, and he said he had this event he had put together, and he wanted me to be involved since, this is, like you said, where I grew up, and I said, sure, why not? And I was all game for it, so I showed up in here, and I got to, bowl with all my friends and family. It's been quite an overwhelming experience, so.
Well, that's great. We were really glad to have you here. Did you find the format that they decided to play over the weekend to be a little different than what you had played before?
To me, I mean, we kind of encountered so many different formats. It's just like bowling to me, but I found it pretty interesting, especially the finals with the Olympic style format. It is a lot more pressure than I thought. I didn't think that spares would really matter, but actually made a pretty big conversion in the second match against Greg, and it kept me in there. So, without that, just like we always say, spares are important. So, but it was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. So,
what's been up with you in the PBA recently?
The PBA's been going pretty well, actually. I've kind of gone on a pretty good stint here. I struggled earlier in this year, kind of battling through some physical issues and whatnot, but everything kind of fell together when I was over in the Middle East. I had a chance to talk to an old coach of mine, Rick Benoit, and he kind of said some things that helped put things in perspective for me. And since then, it's just kind of been like a roller coaster ride of nothing but good things. So you just ride the wave until it crashes, obviously. But
So Jason was very kind to give us a few moments of his time to talk about the PBA and why he was here and a few more things. If you'd like to check out that entire interview, you can at youtube.com/bullfreak. And so Jason seems to like the Olympic format. It has been both interesting and different to score. And I do like the head-to-head action of it. As Sterner puts this one down right around the 15. Gets a little bit of the nose and only gets 9 pins. Doesn't look too happy with that shot. As Black gets set up to attempt to gain a point on this frame. And does with a strike. Making the score now, Greg Black Jr. 2, Jason Sterner 1. Black gets set up on the approach to start the 5th frame. Puts this one down the middle. Goes light in the pocket. And only gets 6 pins, leaving a bucket, as we like to call it. Sterner gets set up on the right side. Doesn't look like he got it out quite far enough and gets exactly the same score, sending it back over to Black for his second shot. Black gets set up about the middle of the approach. Puts this one right down the middle and gets all 4. Great shot by Greg Black Jr. And you can't say the spares don't count in this format. As the pressure's on Jason Sterner to pull off something really great. Gets pin action and he keeps it tied at 2-1.
0 points awarded. Frame 6, 2-1 Black Jr.
Sterner certainly looks pleased with himself after that shot, and rightfully so. And Sterner takes a little extra time to get ready for his first shot of the 6th frame. He's lined up on the approach. Puts that one through the nose and gets 8 pins. So it looks like we might be seeing a little bit of transition there on this oil pattern, which is the USBC Open pattern, by the way. As Greg Black sends off his first ball of the 6th frame, gets all 10 and gets another point. So Greg Black Jr., who has never bowled in this point system before, seems to be doing quite well today. As he sends off his first try of the 7th frame. Black gets a little light in the pocket on that one and only manages to get 9. Leaving an open door for Jason Sterner to put down 10 and get another point up on the board. Sterner sends this one out about the 5, puts it back in the pocket and shreds the rack. Point Jason Sterner.
3-2 going in the 8th.
And that was a good looking shot. Update. So what do you think of the Olympic scoring format? Feel free to comment. Feel free to comment on our YouTube broadcast. We want to hear what you think. Something new for us, and apparently this is the format being presented to the Tokyo Committee on the 2020 Olympics. Jason Sterner puts this one into the pocket and sets it up for Greg Black Jr. to have to match him if he wants to keep the score the same. Yes, this is the weekend where Jason Belmonte is actually making the pitch of Olympic bowling to the Tokyo Olympic Organizing Committee. As Greg Black Jr. puts this one into the Brooklyn side of things. And Jason Sterner gets another point. And we've got the game all tied up. So we're definitely all rooting for Jason Belmonte to help make bowling an Olympic sport in the year 2020 and look forward to hearing the results from his pitch to the committee. As Black gets on the approach and gets set to begin the 9th frame. Black sends this one down the middle. Light in the pocket, gets 9 pins. Had a lot of fun bowling with Jason Sterner on Friday night. Does a lot of stretching before he does any bowling, and he told me he likes to do yoga when I asked him how he manages to stay in such great shape. As he gets set up on the right. And he gets 9 pins. So this is going to force a second ball out of our bowlers here in the 9th frame. Each with a single pin pickup. Black gets his. And Sterner gets his, leaving us with a tie game at 3-3. The winner of this match will move on to compete against Rhino Page, our top seed for today's CCFA PBA Challenge. And that's not just because it's with Rhino Page. Rhino beat everybody else in the field to get that position. And actually came from behind to do it. And if you're interested, you can watch that on our archive broadcast from this earlier qualifiers from yesterday. As Sterner puts this one down into the pocket, gets all 10 pins. Black needs to match him here with a strike if he wants to stay tied. As he sends this one out through the nose, little side of Brooklyn, and gets them all. So we are tied up 3-3 heading into the 11th. Black is set up on the left side to start the 11th frame. Puts this one light in the pocket and only gets 8 pins. So it looks like Black's had a little problem getting his ball where he wants it to go. He's either been crossing Brooklyn, even though that didn't cost him in the last frame, or he's been going light in the pocket. And this late in the game is not when you want to be losing your target. As Sterner gets set up to match or beat 8 pins. He puts this one into the pocket, shreds the rack, and puts another point up on the board, bringing the score to 4-3. Now we could see a sudden death ending, because all Jason Sterner has to do right now is get a strike. And even if Greg Black Jr. matches that, Jason Sterner still wins this match. As Jason calms down and treats this as seriously as he does pretty much any other PBA match I've seen him play. I don't like the pros. That's what makes them pros. Take everything seriously once you lace up those shoes. As Sterner sends this one down. Good looking shot into the pocket and wins the second match, 4-3. Jason Sterner will now go on to face Rhino Page, our top seed competitor in today's CCFA PBA Challenge. So don't go away. Our championship match is coming up next. You are watching the second annual CCFA PBA Challenge with Rhino Page. Today's presentation is brought to you by Bowl Freak. Sign up for free at bowlfreak.com and compete against other players from around the world in various tournaments and leagues to fit your skill level. Bowl Freak, it's your game. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America, providing hope and inspiring action. Visit ccfa.org to see how you can help today. Storm, the Bowlers Company. And Printer Showcase, where the business professionals shop. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the second annual CCFA PBA Challenge with Rhino Page. And welcome back as our PBA champs, Rhino Page and Jason Sterner, get set to face off in our championship match. And if you were watching earlier during our interview with Jason Sterner, he talked about how Rhino Page had come up with this tournament. Yesterday we had a chance to spend some time with Rhino in the booth, and we'll play a little excerpt from that here in a moment as Rhino gets set up to start the game. Rhino Page, of course, a left-hander. Puts this one into the pocket and gets all 10. Rhino Page, of course, has been on the PBA tour for a while and actually is back on after having an injury to his wrist that he has rehabilitated from and done quite well actually this year. Placing second in the Tournament of Champions and placing third in the PBA Badger Open in the Oklahoma Open. Sterner gets set on the right side to see if he can match Rhino's strike and goes through the nose, only gets 9 pins. Giving the first frame to Rhino Page, and our score is 1-0. As I mentioned earlier, Jason Sterner makes his home in Covington, Georgia, so He is certainly a bit of a local favorite here. And we are happy he decided to join us today. And he puts this one down. Again, about the same line over the 15. Into the pocket and gets all 10. So Jason Sterner has a great ball to start off the second frame. And we'll see if Rhino can repeat on the right side what he did on the left. Rhino Page gets ready to get set up on the right side. And Rhino, of course, is the creator of the CCFA PBA Challenge, specifically to benefit the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America. And we had a chance to interview him earlier, and we'll watch that here in just a moment. Rhino sends this one down about the 6. Into the pocket, doubles up, and keeps the score 1-0. And this is what Rhino had to tell us earlier. We call this the CCFA PBA Challenge. Why did we come up with that title?
Well, the CCFA is my official charity, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and when David approached me about running a tournament to raise money for it, I thought, what a great idea. I'd love to do that. And we didn't know that it would actually turn into great turnouts and a great tournament, and we hope that we can continue year after year to grow it and make it bigger.
So the foundation that we're supporting is the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, that's correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Now, why did you choose this as the foundation that you're supporting?
My first year on tour, I met a kid named Tyler Cassiopo, and he suffers greatly with Crohn's disease. And you would have never known. He was just an everyday kid, happy-go-lucky, and when I found that out, I wanted to do everything I could to support him. And I had never heard of Crohn's disease. I'm like, but this kid has a disease? We need to help him out. And as I got to meet them and the whole family, I became more and more educated and understood how serious these diseases are. And anything that I could do to make his life better and hope to find a cure for the diseases I wanted to do.
That's wonderful. So, as Rhino says, this is for a great cause, the CCFA, or Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America. And you can help out by visiting ccfa.org today and learn more about this disease and how you can help. Rhino Page gets all set up on the left side to start off the third frame. Puts this one down a little further outside, crosses through the nose, and he only gets 8 pins. And that leaves the door open for Jason Sterner to try to tie this game up with 9 pins or better. Sterner gets set up to see if he can match this shot. As Jason puts this one out into the pocket, only gets 7 pins and gives that frame to Rhino Page, making the score now 2-0. So that was probably not the throw that Jason Sterner was looking for. And I got to wonder if the lanes are starting to transition a little bit, since we've had some pretty strong bowlers on this pair today. And Sterner towels his ball off and gets ready to start frame 4. This one looks good off his hand. Into the pocket and gets a strike. So Jason Sterner's had a few good shots here. It's just he's been matched by Rhino Page each time he has. And when Rhino opened the door for him, Jason didn't get enough pins. As Rhino gets set up to answer Jason's strike in the 4th frame here.
2-1 Page. Going
He
to the
gets
5th.
set up. Takes his time. Puts this one down about the 6. Into the pocket, but only gets 9. A little bit of action on the pins, but not enough. And Jason Sterner wins this frame, making the score 2-1. As I mentioned earlier, we had Rhino Page in the booth with us yesterday during qualifiers. And here's a short part from that. What brings a big star like you in the PBA to our neck of the woods?
Well, David Clark approached me last year about running a tournament and coinciding it with my charity, which is the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America. And I thought, we've tried to do this concept with our big charity event that we do every year up in Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
But why not expand off of that? That's a great idea. I'd love to do it. And thankfully, we were able to put it together all last minute and still get great support.
So up in New York is where where you normally have the charity tournament?
Yes, sir. And we did a tournament one year, but now we're just doing the actual event because the event has taken off so much.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually coming up September 26th in Long Island at South Levittown Lanes. And for any of you out there who want any information on it, you can check out strikeoutcrones.com. Or also check out my fan page on Facebook or Twitter. We post a lot on there as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, definitely. I'll remind everybody after our interview to go ahead and check that out. So I guess some of the other questions I've got are, I know that you started out really young bowling. When did you start bowling the first time?
I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow. You're younger than me by 4 years. Amazing. That's great. Where did you get started? In California?
In San Diego, California, where I was born and raised. And bowling just sold me immediately.
Wow.
Anything that had to do with throwing something, I love. So, my parents would take us fishing.
Right.
And I didn't want to go fishing. I wanted to stay on the shore and just throw rocks into the lake all day.
Right.
And then my dad would get mad at me.
Right.
Hey, you're scaring the fish away. Like, what are you doing? Stop that.
I bet you learned to skip some rocks, though.
Oh, I did. I was pretty good at that. Right. And then, at home, like, I'd be throwing a tennis ball against the wall all day in the house, and my mom would go, stop hitting the house. Right? So the very fact that this game I could throw a ball as hard as I can at a bunch of other objects, and I wouldn't get yelled at by my parents.
Yeah, get praised.
I'm in. Let's go.
And as you can tell, we had a lot of fun yesterday. And you can check out the entire interview on our channel at YouTube. As Rhino Page gets set up to start frame 5 here on the left side. He puts this one down about the 6. Gets the head pin and leaves the 4, 7, 6, 10 split. The dreaded Big 4. Though I don't think he's too concerned about picking this up. It's not the spares, at least the way we normally think about them, that matter in the Olympic scoring format. But how many pins you get? As Sterner tries to get 7 or more pins and gets all 10, giving him a point, and we're all tied up 2-2. So Jason Sterner was able to take advantage of that and get the game all tied up.
See how he moved to the left when he got me?
Showing you just how fast the Olympic scoring format can turn things around here. The scoring definitely gives you more of a head-to-head feeling. Certainly does me anyway. Sterner sends off the first ball of the 6th frame. Puts this one into the pocket. Gets good pin action. Doesn't need it as he gets all 10. And Jason's starting to look a little bit more comfortable out there. He's actually looked good most of the game. He's just had Rhino match him right when it looks like he might pull ahead, which might be the case here as Rhino gets set up on the right side. Send back his answer to Jason Sterner's strike. As he puts this one down about the 6. Flush hit, but manages to leave the 7, which will give Jason Sterner the frame and put him up for the first time this game. So our score is now 3-2. Jason Sterner in the lead. And speaking of Jason, here's a little bit more from that interview we had earlier, where he tells us what he's got coming up next.
More bowling, believe it or not. It's the next 3 or 4 weeks. It's a pretty steady diet of bowling, and actually in 2 or 3 weeks I'm going to Korea again for the second time. So for the Samho Cup, and last year was an unbelievable experience. So hopefully this year I can go in there and make it a little bit further into the tournament. But the people over there were really awesome. They were more than welcoming, and I really enjoyed my time.
So it looks like Jason Sterner's got his plate full. And if you'd like to check out the rest of the interview, along with our other interviews, you can do so at our YouTube channel or at bullfreak.com. As Rhino Page gets set up to start frame 7, puts this one down about the 5, into the pocket, sends all 10 to the pit, and sends it back over to Jason Sterner. And so Sterner puts a little grip on his hands as he's getting ready to throw his attempt for frame 7. And since Rhino Page already threw a strike, he's only going to get one shot to match him. This looks pretty good off his hand. Nice flush hit, and he keeps the score 3-2.
Go to 8th frame, tie game, correct? 3-2 Sterner.
Sterner looks set to begin frame 8 on the left side. Sends this one down about the 15, right into the pocket, gets a strike, and sends it over to Rhino Page to see if he can match him and not allow Jason Sterner to go up by any more. So I think this format puts a lot more pressure on the bowlers to compete directly against the other bowler. Certainly on a frame-by-frame basis. As Page gets set up on the right side. Puts this one down a little further in. He's got a bit tighter line, only gets 7 pins. So that's going to let Jason Sterner go up by another point, making the score 4-2. Sterner over Page. As we head into the 9th frame. I'm trying to give you a little closer view of the pins, if you haven't noticed, on the left and right side. We hope to have that as a slow motion replay soon, as we are upgrading our equipment here at Bull Freak. As Page gets set up to start frame 9 here on the left side. He takes his time on this shot. Sends it Brooklyn, but gets all 10. It's a nice lucky shot. Sends it over to Jason Sterner to match that. Page, of course, is our only left-hander in today's stepladder finals. And doesn't have to worry about anybody else chewing up the oil on that side. It's fun to watch these pros play because they really do not like to take strikes that are not flush hits. But I call either side pocket when I'm bowling. Jason puts that one into the nose too and doesn't quite get the luck that Rhino had, so Rhino gains a point. And now we are 4 points to 3 going into the 10th frame. And Sterner sends off a good-looking shot. Flush hit. Gets 10 points. And and throws the challenge down once again to Rhino Page. So if Jason Sterner can keep this pace up, it is looking very good for him here in the last few frames of our championship match. Since being in the lead, it means the other player is going to have to match what he does at least. And Jason's been looking more solid as the game's been going on, as Rhino gets set up to try to match him here on the right side. And he puts this one right into the pocket and sends 10 to the pit, keeping the score tied at 4-3, Jason Sterner.
4-3 going to 11.
Rhino needs an unmatched strike here, or at least an 8 or 9 count that Sterner isn't able to match or beat. But I'm sure he knows that. He came up with this format, and I, for one, have enjoyed watching it today. I did not know we'd actually be doing this format until I got in here earlier this morning. And it's been fun to learn to adjust to it. As Page gets set up on the left side, puts a nice solid shot right into the pocket, gets the messenger, and gets all 10. So that was a great shot from Rhino Page. And it's up to Sterner to match it, as he towels his ball off. Takes a deep breath and gets set up over here on the right side. Sterner puts down another beautiful shot. Flush hit. Gets a bit of a wobble, but only 9 pins. So that's going to tie the game up at 4 points each, heading into our final frame. Now, if the score does remain tied after frame 12, we will continue on in sudden death competition, and the first winner of a frame will then win our match and our tournament. So we couldn't ask for much more excitement here heading into frame 12. And Sterner looks like he's about ready to get this frame going. As he takes another deep breath. Gets set up on the left side. Puts this one down, not where he wanted it, and left a Greek church. Wow. What a finish for Jason Sterner. Since I am willing to bet just about anything, Rhino will not have a problem getting more than 5 pins on this shot. And how quickly it can all change here, folks, with what was probably the worst shot that I've seen Sterner throw today. As Rhino Page gets set up to take what might be the last shot of the game. Sends this one straight into the middle. Gets 9 pins, and that's enough to win our match and the CCFA PBA Challenge. We certainly hope you've enjoyed our presentation today with PBA champions Rhino Page and Jason Sterner, and look forward to the next time. I'm Michael Powell, and it's been my pleasure to be with you laneside.